Hey guys, welcome back. I need to paint a bumper cover for a Nissan Altima. It's going to get painted black. I'm just going to use a single stage black paint. It's an older car, so we're not going to go ahead and do all the base coat and clear coat and all that stuff because it just doesn't need it. I haven't taken it out of the box yet. I cut the box open because I needed a piece of cardboard to lay on earlier. Let's get it out and see what it looks like. Now, sometimes on these newer vehicles nowadays, when you order a bumper cover, they bend them in half and put them in a smaller box. But luckily on this one, they did not do that. Well, I guess they did a little bit on the one edge. So yeah, I guess I should have unwrapped this. But what I'm probably gonna have to do now that they did do that on the one edge is probably put it outside in the sun for a little bit. Unless I can get it to read it. It might just open right up. Yeah, that's not too bad. Might just let it sit on the stand for a little bit. The car is sitting outside. So probably compare it to it, make sure it looks the same. Want to get it painted today because it's supposed to be 60 degrees tomorrow, so I can put the bumper cover on, because I don't have room in the shop right now to do it inside. You can also take a heat gun to stretch it back out. So as you can tell, you can see how this side is curved differently than this side. And that's from them bending it into the box. So what we're gonna do with this is, you know what, let's do the heating up method so that I can just get this thing done rather than letting it sit for a while. So let me go grab the heat gun. Okay, if you look right there, you see how this creased right there. So we're gonna put some heat right here. Don't want to get it too hot. And I'm forcing down on the end a little bit as well. Okay, and then I got to do it right here. Make sure you guys can see right here. This edge right here is kinked up. So I'm pulling down on the bumper edge as I heat it. A little bit more right here to do. Because you got to get this out before you paint it, because that's a lot of flexing. If you go to try to, if you paint this with this bent like that, and it starts to settle down and lay out because it's out of the box, you run the risk of screwing your paint up. Okay, that's pretty good there. You can put it in the sun for a couple hours on the stand, upside down like it's sitting, and this will relax down from being outside. If it's winter time, you can put it in a spray booth, you can turn the heat on. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. So now, let me flip this over. We're going to sand this down. So basically how I'm going to sand this is, I'm going to take my DA sander and I'm going to 320 grit all the areas I can get with the sander. Everything in here that I can't reach, I have to do with the red Scotch-Brite pad. So let me grab the stuff I need to do. I'm going to clean up the garbage and get rid of this cardboard box and stuff. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll be back to start sanding this down. Okay, I don't know, my video skipped a little bit, so I'm not sure if any of this caught or not, but I took the DA sander just to show you how I'm going to sand this down here. And going to use a Scotch-Brite pad for all around the edges and stuff. I don't know that my video was going or not. I haven't gone back to check it. But I'm just going to take my red Scotch-Brite pad and get in all these corners really well. So let me get this sanded down and blown off, and then I'll be back. Okay, it's all sanded down, blown off, and it's in the spray booth. I'm going to heat it up to about 100 degrees in here just to make sure that this side's fully relaxed down, because it seemed like it was bending a little bit again when I had it on the stand. So I'm just going to let it get real warm for a little bit here and just let it sit and relax. It's almost 80 degrees in here, so I'll get it up to about 100, 110. Let it sit for a little bit. Then we'll flip it over. We're going to wax and grease remove it, and then we'll use this little bit of this adhesive promoter, especially in the areas that I Scotch-Brited, just to make sure that it sticks well. So this is just what I use by Bulldog. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, the bumper cover has relaxed down. Now it looks identical to the other side. So the heat in here definitely helped it. Finished laying out the rest of the way. It's just about 120 degrees in here. So it's hot. So I'm gonna turn the fans on and start sucking some of this heat out of here, and get this flipped over and wiped off, and then we can put the adhesion promoter on there and put a couple coats of black paint on it. Let me show you what I use for wax and grease remover. Now, you can use two different things, okay? I've used them both, they both work. I wouldn't tell you to use them if they didn't work. You can use spray away glass cleaner, works extremely well. You want to use this one, it's an ammonia free. This works really well. It foams up, which helps get the dirt out of the sanding marks, and then you can use prep all. This I get from Amazon, seems to be the cheapest place around, but it's still like 45 or 50 bucks a gallon. So if you're not doing a ton of painting, I would just suggest using the window cleaner. You can get a 4-pack of this window cleaner. You get 4 of these cans at Home Depot for like 10 bucks. So I'd recommend using that if you're not doing a lot of big painting or stuff like that. If you're painting a whole car, you probably want to use this stuff. I have a sprayer here that I have it in, a pump sprayer, which makes it really easy to saturate the panel down. A whole car would probably take a little bit of time with the window cleaner. Can be done, but it's gonna take you longer. So let's go out there, flip over that bumper, and get it wiped down real good. I use these Torx rags wipes. They're 4-ply. They are lint free. Grab a couple of them. Now let's go out there and wipe this thing down. Set for a couple of seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and then start wiping it so that it kind of pulls out those contaminants. So it's drying quicker than I can really wipe it. See all this black that comes off by using that. Now I'm going to blow it off of there again because there is residual wax and grease remover stuck in the crevices and stuff. And before we put on the adhesion promoter, we're going to wipe it down with a tack cloth. Tack cloth it off, and then we're just using Summit Racing single stage black. We've had really good luck with it. It's a cheaper product. We're not trying to spend a fortune on fixing the front of this car. It's just sorry about that. All right, so I don't remember what I was saying, but anyways, we're going to go out there, we're going to tack cloth this off, we're going to spray some of this on there, and then we are going to mix up some single stage black paint and put 2 to 3 coats on depending on how it looks. First coat I'm going to put on kind of light to kind of give it like something to bond, the second coat to bond to. This only needs 5 minutes right here. It says ready to paint in 5 minutes. So we'll give it 5-10 minutes. By the time I get this sprayed on there, mix up the paint, get the spray gun out and everything, it'll be at least 5 minutes. Drop your tack cloth on the floor. If you do, reopen it up and fluff it around. Okay, that's on drying. I think my video was sideways when I was doing that. I think I hit the button, which rotated the screen. So sorry about that. But we have that on, that's currently drying. We're gonna mix up some single stage gloss black. Like I said, we're gonna put the first coat on thin. We're not gonna go super heavy with it. We wanted to use it as kind of like an adhesive. And if you're wondering why I'm touching the bumper with my bare hands, I washed them before I started wiping down the bumper with the wax and grease remover. Plus, I have wax and grease remover all over my hands now. So my hands are dry. There's no oil or anything on them. You know, you can definitely wear gloves. I have gloves right here. Just haven't been wearing them lately. Haven't really been doing a lot that's really needed me to wear gloves. Probably should put them on though for this black paint, because I really don't want to get my hands filled with black paint. So we'll put a pair on. But normally I would suggest wiping down your panel, tack clothing it down with gloves on. This is why I hate pouring out of cans. Even though I poke holes in that rim, it still gets a bunch built up around the edge. I'm going to use this old mixing stick here. It'll be fine because I use these sleeves and these lids, and the lid has a built-in strainer, so I don't need to strain my paint going into here. And this is just a 4-to-1 mix, and we're going to add 15% reducer. Usually you can go 10-20% reducer. I usually split it in the middle at 15%. And it's all labeled on these cups. You know, we're gonna go all the way up to the number 4, which is the highest one. We're using a 4 to 1 to 1 ratio. So we're gonna go up to the 4. We're gonna take our hardener to the 4, and then it's 10%, 20%. So I'm gonna split it between the 10 and 20%. Then I'm gonna get my respirator on, and we are gonna go put our first coat of black paint on. I've not painted a bumper cover in quite a while. Plus, you also want to try to make sure that you don't try not to lay it out too smooth, because the car itself from the factory has a little bit of orange peel. So trying to match that sometimes can be a little difficult if you're used to spraying real smooth. I'm going to take it easy and spray it a little bit lighter, since I haven't done a bumper cover in a while. Give it a good 10 minutes between coats to let it really set up. Okay, a nice full cup here. This should get us 2 coats of paint, especially because the first one's going to be light. Now, if I go to get more paint that's already stirred, should be okay. You don't want to take this stick and put it back in there, because now this stick has hardener on it. So that is one thing you do not want to do. If you're worried about that sitting and needing to re-stir it, grab a new stick, or use the other side of this one. So, all right, let's get out there and get a coat of paint on. Okay, I'm gonna let that set for a good 10 minutes, and then we'll put our second coat on, and then we'll come back and probably do a third coat. You see a little bit of sanding marks through the paint, but that should go away on the second coat. So give it a little bit and I'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna mix up a little bit more paint and I'm gonna do one more coat. I'm gonna switch from my medium hardener to a slow hardener on this last coat. This last coat I'll probably just spray off camera and then we'll come back and look at it when it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up a little bit more for the last coat. Okay, third coat is on. Let's go take a look at it. A couple little specks of dirt, but not bad at all. Those will buff out once I put it on the car. But I just got done with the third coat a couple minutes ago. These marks are where the license plate goes. I got one piece of fuzz right there, which will buff out. Got a little piece of dirt right there. But those couple spots will come right out. Other than that, it laid out real nice. So it should look good. Now I'm going to let this sit with the fans going for about 15 minutes or so. And then I'm going to turn off the fan. And I'm going to turn off the heat. Because this Summit paint, clear and base coat does not like heat to dry. If you heat this stuff up, it'll solvent pop on you. It'll just ruin the paint. You'll have to repaint it. So just let it run for about 15 minutes just to let it gas off. Let it exhaust out and then just shut it down and let it dry. The reason why I used slow hardener in the last coat was to slow the drying process down when it hit the panel. What that does is it makes it flow flatter, because when it hits the panel it's going to stay wet longer and it's going to start, in a sense, like run, in a sense, but not really run, but just kind of flatten out and level out. So I like to do that on the last coat. If I was painting like the whole front end of a car, I would use slow hardener for the whole thing, because by the time I got around, the medium would have just been drying up on me when overspray would be hitting it, because you would be spraying a part next to another part, and once you already sprayed that part with the medium and it's 85 degrees in the spray booth, it's going to set up so fast that when you start painting like the next part next to it, the overspray, whatever overspray gets on it, is going to be dulling that first surface because it's setting too quickly. So keep that in mind if you're doing multiple panels and it's warm. Just go with everything slow hardener, slow reducer. I just went with slow hardener and medium reducer on the last coat. So that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Just a quick video on how I paint urethane bumpers. Let it set overnight. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll put it on the car. Got to take the other one off, put it on the car, put the grill on and the emblem, and hopefully it should be done. I don't think there are any other broken parts behind it. For me looking at it, I got to check the horn out, but other than that, should be about it. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up. That would be great. Tons more content coming. I've been a little busy this week on the arcade channel, so I haven't done a ton on the cars, but there's a ton coming with that pickup truck. Got to finish up that 59 hopefully this week. I am painting another old pickup truck, which I don't know what year it is, to be honest with you. They did all the body work on it. They did all the primering on it. I am going to get the truck here. I'm going to do the last block sanding, touch up anything I see that I don't like, and we are going to paint it a gunmetal gray with a satin clear. So it's not going to be a shiny paint job. We cannot wet sand and buff it, so we need to clean the booth as best we can, because whatever dirt gets in that paint job is in that paint job. You can't wet sand it out. So we want to try to do as best as we can to try to keep it as clean as possible. I'm going to paint the cab by itself. I'm going to paint all the pieces separate. So I'm going to do the cab first so I can give that back to them. They can take it back. And then I'm going to do the doors, fenders. Well, the fenders and the hood are all one piece. It's a tilt front end. So I'm going to be painting the doors and the hood, fenders all at the same time, and then I'll do the bed last. So as they get the parts back, they can just go and take them from here and go to their house and literally bolt them right onto the body, because I'm going to do the body first. So all right guys, that's going to end this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.